Hey guys, it's Will here. It's been a little while, I've been away, but I'm back now with another battle report. Tonight, my Orks take on Sam's Space Wolves. Now, he's going to be trying his Wulfen out for the first time tonight, so should be interesting to see how they go. And we're doing a pretty big size game. We've got 2,000 points here tonight. So basically, we're going to have a horde of vicious, horrible, unwashed brutes versus the Orks. So yeah, let's have a quick look at the armies. Like I said, there's going to be 2,000 points, and we're going to roll up for a random Maelstrom mission. I've got my Evil Sunz Clan here, led by my Big Mech in Mega Armour. He's got a Kustom Mega Blaster and a Custom Force Field. He's also got the Lucky Stick, and he's accompanied by a unit of 5 Mega Knobs. All just stock there. All the Big Mech also has a boss pole. They're riding in the first of my 2 battle wagons, just 2 big shooters, reinforced ram, and extra armour on there. Second battle wagon is the same, but that is carrying a unit of 20 boys, including a knob with boss pole and power claw. Then I've got 2 units of shooter boys, again both 10 strong, both upgraded with knobs with boss poles, and there's also a big shooter in each one of those mobs, and they're both riding in trucks. 2 more trucks carrying another 2 mobs of boys. This time these are slugger choppers with knob with boss pole and power claw. And then my final truck, the converted Chimera truck, is going to be my tank busters, 10 of them, no other upgrades. Then this wouldn't be an Evil Sunz Clan without some bikes, so I've got 2 squads of them, both 5 strong, both upgraded with a knob with a boss pole and power claw, and also a pain boy on a bike. Haven't used him for quite a while, so it'd be fun to put him out on the table. And then I've got a unit of death copters, some of them with damaged rotor blades, but yeah, all upgraded with missile launchers to give me a little bit more anti-tank potential. Finally, to round the army up at 2,000 points, Sam's very kindly lent me his 5 converted Kustom Mega Kannons, so yeah, that's why they're not painted in my normal scheme, because they're actually Sam's models that he's very kindly loaned me. And from what I've seen, these should be absolutely brutal in the game, especially against an army like Space Wolves. So that is 2,000 points, Evil Sunz Clan Orks.
So here's my 2k of Space Wolves. So we got, for HQs, my Wolf Lord, who's got a Frost Sword, Jump Pack, Runic Armour and the Wulfen Stone. Then I've got a Battle Leader on Thunderwolf, pair of Wolf Claws, he's got the Armour of Russ, and that's it. They both have Metal Bombs as well, just because I had a few points spare. Troops wise, move over here, I've got 2 units of 5 Grey Hunters with a plasma gun each in Razorbacks with twin-linked assault cannons. And that's it for troops, just bare minimum. I slung a plasma gun in there because I could. For fast, I've got 5 Thunderwolves with all Storm Shields, 1 Thunderhammer, the other 2 are just combat weapons. 15 Fenrisian Wolves, because Fenrisian Wolves are awesome but incredibly squishy. 10 Skyclaws. I know Skyclaws are a bit crap and just awful, but yeah, I wanted to try them out because I've got the Wulfen in this list, as you will see. I've got 2 units of Long Fangs, so 1 with 4 plasma cannons, 1 with 4 las cannons, both 5 man strong, obviously. And then over to the interesting part, my Wulfen, which are freshly painted, brand new sort of thing. Well, I say brand new, they've been sat on my desk since the Wulfen came out, and I've only just got around to painting them. And I've also got a Land Raider Redeemer with extra armour and a multi-melter. The Wulfen, going back to them, I've got the leader with 2 Frost Claws, 2 Great Frost Axes and 2 Thunderhammer Storm Shields. It gives them a nice mix of the weapons for me to try. If I want to get more, I know what's good for them. So that is my 2k. Not a lot there, but it's all pretty elite, so we'll see how it goes.
So for mission, we rolled up Tactical Escalation, so starting with 1 card each and gradually increasing every turn. Unfortunately, that does mean it's end-to-end deployment, which doesn't really suit a horde army like Orks, but we'll make do with what we've got. I've just never been a fan of it, though. Fortunately, we were able to deploy first and go first, so kind of just made the most of the cover, getting the most valuable units into cover Obviously the cannons needed a good firing lane, and the bikes needed some way to move forward. Wagons, less worried about putting them behind stuff, because they can move through it, so I don't need to worry about dangerous terrain checks, because they've got those reinforced rams to re-roll that. Sam's set up very much clustered in the centre. Wulfen are in that Land Raider, which I'm sure will be heading towards me very quickly, hoping that the tank busters can stop it, but I don't think we're going to be able to. I think they will. The Wulfen will get to us. Those Thunderwolves provide a nice target for me, but he's got storm shields to the front, which will help a little bit. And then we've got a lot of firepower along the back here, with the Assault Marines coming down the flank, sort of head-on, matching up against my Mega Nob. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on. I've left my Deathcopters in reserves. They'll be out flanking to make the most of side shots with those missiles. And yeah, Sam, if you'd like to seize the initiative. No, initiative not stolen, so here we go, Orc turn 1. So, a pretty uneventful first turn for the Orcs, unfortunately there. We drew Demolition as our objective, which is obviously of no use at all when we haven't got any fortifications on the board. So I just moved the army up, trying to get into range at the same time as not letting myself sort of get overextended and countercharged. As you can see, everything's just sort of thrust forward. Cannons have stayed still and fired at the Wulfen and managed to kill one of them, which is Thunderwolf. Managed to kill one Thunderwolf, and that's yeah, that's a good start. But they passed their leadership, and the big shooters that were in range fired off some snapshots at the Wolves and killed about 5 of them, I think. Enough to force a leadership test, but they passed because he's got his general deployed in there as well. So all in all, not a particularly interesting turn. In the shooting phase I also turbo boosted these bikes back just so they didn't get countercharged by the assault squad, and turbo boosted this truck up in front of the cannons, but behind this, just to get the tank busters a little bit more cover there, because we're about to get hit by a Space Wolf countercharge. Here we go, Space Wolf turn 1. So, the Space Wolves started their first turn, drawing an objective that was about as much use as the Orcs one. Secure Objective 5, right down here in my deployment zone, with no chance to get to it. So that wasn't scored and was eventually discarded, but the rest of the turn was a lot more effective. His 3 vehicles all pushed forward a little bit and opened up on respective targets. The far Razorback over there managed to wreck the Orc truck on this flank, but the boys inside managed to pass their leadership test on getting out. The Land Raider managed to wreck the truck in the centre with its assault cannon, and also machine spirited off its multi-melter at the battle wagon. Wagon was fine, but the truck was gone, and the Wulfen proceeded to mop up the survivors. And this Razorback had a slightly less effective turn, shot at the battle wagon but didn't do any damage thanks to its high front armour. Story was also true for the Long Fangs at the back there, shot the truck but didn't do a lot of damage. Now the Plasma Long Fangs had a better time of it, shot for the bikes, only killed 2 in the end, but that was thanks to a lot of lucky jinx saves and the hard work of the Pain Boy. Could have been a lot more devastating if they'd got in. And then, to finish off the turn, the Skyclaws, who'd already advanced up pretty far, assaulted the battle wagon that the Pain Boy was in, that the Big Mech and his Mega Nobs are in, and wiped that out, wrecked it. Luckily it didn't explode, and we were able to get out safely, past our pinning check, but yeah, that's 3 vehicles and a squad of infantry gone already. Luckily, we're Orcs, we have plenty more numbers where that came from, but it does give the Space Wolves first blood and an early lead. Now, start of my second turn, I've got my Deathcopters to bring on, so here we go, looking for a 3+. That's a 6, so the Deathcopters are on. Here we go, with Orc, turn 2. So, the Orcs started their turn with 2 objectives, score Objective 4 and Objective 6, which are here and over there, respectively. And yeah, so let's see what we did. We moved up, obviously the Copters moved up here to claim Objective 6, and the bikes came down the flank a little bit to get them into shooting range of the Razorback. Only actually did a single hull point to that though, with the combined fire of both of these units. It was a little bit lackluster. I'll have to assault it next turn. The one surviving battle wagon tank shocked the Skyclaws and sent them running. Then, because they were out in the open and fairly close, all of this basically shot for them, and the tank busters as well, because the Land Raider was going to be too tough a target to do without getting into combat with it. So we killed the vast majority of them, which is a nice little bonus. And over here I was really hoping the Mega Knobs and the Cannons together would be able to finish off the Thunderwolves. Cannons only managed to put a single wound on, and then yeah, the Mega Knobs had a terrible time of it in combat. I lost my mech in a challenge. I was kind of thinking he'd take the challenge with who I thought was the character, which is this guy, but this guy is a sergeant as well, so he did the challenge, and it should have been mutually assured destruction with us both having AP2, Strength 8, strike class weapons, but unfortunately he has a storm shield and I suck at rolling dice apparently, so yeah, he killed my big mech and one Mega Knob. I then proceeded to do 10 wounds to the Thunderwolves, and he saved all of them on his invuln save. That was a major disappointment there, but luckily we did manage to hold in combat. But there's Wulfen in that Land Raider, so things are about to get complicated. But here we go with Space Wolf turn 2. So as the Space Wolves continue to push forward on turn 2 of this particularly low scoring game, he had secure behind enemy lines and hungry for glory, so getting a challenge. Land Raider pushed forward, and I was very surprised to see that the Wulfen didn't actually get out. They stayed in there, obviously planning to use them as a countercharge unit. Instead, the Land Raider shot at this truck here and put 2 hull points on with the assault cannon and fired its multi-melter at this battle wagon and immobilised it. So still pretty decent. Over here, the Devastators wrecked a truck that was there in the centre of the shot. But yeah, as you can see, it's not there now. It got blown up, and then the guys who survived were charged by the Fenrisian Wolves and the Wolf Lord, wiped them out completely. But they are now standing and staring right down the barrel of my my big guns, so not the end of the world there. Over here, the Assault Marines, or the Skyclaws, 3 of them assaulted my my Deathcopters, killed 1 on the Overwatch and a further 1 in combat for no casualties in return, although I did take 1 wound from the shooting, but unfortunately the Deathcopters are going to be locked down for a turn now, which is a pain. But the yeah, the Thunderwolves won their combat, again passing all his 3-up invuln saves. I think we worked out about 14 3-up invulns in a row now. It's kind of like playing against my Necrons. So yeah, pretty close in the end. He got hungry for glory for the challenge over there in that combat, but not going to get behind enemy lines. So that leaves the Orcs at 2 points, 3 points even, because he's got Warlord. And sorry, no, the Space Marines have 3 points. The Orcs have only 1 as we go into turn 3. So 3 objectives for the Orcs this turn: Blood and Guts, Secure Objective 2, and Secure Objective 6. Objective 2 was really easy, just had to sit my cannons where they were, which is exactly what they were going to do. They fired on the Thunderwolves, but only did a single wound, again thanks to those really lucky armour saves, invuln saves. Objective 6 was parked under the Deathcopters, but was being contested by the Assault Squad. So what I did, I moved the bikes up here, and then multi-assaulted into the Razorback and the Assault Squad, wiped out both the Assault Squad and wrecked the Razorback. So that was 2 kills there for Blood and Guts and secured me Objective 6, so nice little move for the bikes there. Grey Hunters from the exploded Razorback passed their pinning check though, so I've got to deal with them next turn. Over here I wanted to assault the Plasma Cannon squad, but my shooting on the way in was a little bit too effective and actually ended up wiping them out before I was, or killing all bar 1, who then ran away before I could assault them, so a little bit of a pain there. Tank Busters finally had a bead on the Land Raider, so we ran across to that, assaulted it. Didn't do any damage on the way in with our rockets, which was expected with AV-14, but then I remembered you can only use 1 grenade in combat now, which is a real shame. It's really nerfed units like Swooping Hawks and Tank Busters who kind of really like their assault grenades against vehicles, or their grenades in assaults against vehicles. And then I rolled a 1 to hit, so yay, that's not even wrecked it. Managed to kill another one of the Thunderwolves with fire from the battle wagon, and then my final assault over here, the boys assaulted the Fenrisian wolves and the Wolf Lord. Managed to kill all the wolves, but lost as many boys in the process and my knob. Drawn combat, but the key there is I wiped out the wolves, which gives me 3 kills in combat, or 3 units wiped out in combat, which means my blood and guts is now worth D3. That D3 is alas only a 2, so that's just worth 1. But yeah, not too bad a turn. We scored all 3 of our objectives. I'm a little bit worried about the Wulfen still ready to come out of their Land Raider, and I was hoping I could have killed this last Thunderwolf, because I fear he's now going to get into combat with my cannons and make a bit of a mess there, but it's not the end of the world. We've still got a good chunk of units running on this side as we head into the 3rd Space Wolf turn. So Space Wolf turn 4, and time for the Wulfen to strike. So this turn he had Kingslayer, Psychological Warfare, and Hold Your Ground, which meant he had to hold 1 objective in his deployment zone for 2 turns, and I got to pick which one it was, so I picked Objective 4, hoping that Plasma Cannon guy wouldn't be able to hold it for 2 turns, he'd manage 1 at best. But yeah, Kingslayer was already done as well, thanks to the Big Mech being dead, but this turn was all about the nastiest units getting into combat, so the Thunderwolves were able to pull off a charge on my big guns and wiped them out with really no trouble at all there, because, yeah, grots. And the Wulfen got off a charge onto the big mob of boys here. I thought they'd have struggled more to cut through 20 guys, but they just went through them so hard. It was scary, so that's 2 units wiped out. And the Wolf Lord over there finished off the squad he was in combat with. So all in all, very successful turn. He also managed to kill most of my bikes with shooting from his Devastator squads and blow up another truck with the Land Raider. And the Land Raider's Flamestorm cannons also barbecued most of the tank busters. So yeah, I'm really quite getting absolutely massacred here. But, you know, he only rolled 1 for both the D3 scores he had, so it's not over yet. Here we go, Orc, turn 4. So nice little bunch of objectives this turn. Score objectives 1, 5 and 4, and also Big Game Hunter. Problem is just not enough orcs left to do the job. Did manage to secure objective 4. My Pain Boy on a bike came up here and scored that. And then I was hoping I could wipe out these guys just for some punitive damage with the knob from the other bike mob. He made it into combat, but then yeah, failed all his armor saves and died before he got to strike. That counter-attack on Space Wolves always catches me out. Other than that, tried to soften up the Wulfen with fire from the Shooter Boys, Battle Wagons and Tank Busters, but didn't manage to kill any of them. Put some wounds on them, but they all saved them all and had feel no pain. Even the Deathcopters couldn't hurt them. So ultimately things are really not going very well here, and all my vehicles are either immobilised or wrecked, so I couldn't even get back here to claim Objective 5. So I scored just a single point that turn, secure Objective 4, and I'm going to discard secure Objective 5 because I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. And yeah, as we head into the 4th Space Wolf turn, things are looking pretty bleak for the Orcs here. And there we have it, end of the 4th Space Wolf turn, and this is a certified massacre. The Land Raider wiped out the rest of the boys that were there. The Wulfen killed off the last of the bikes, the Pain Boy there. And the Deathcopters technically are still up. They actually won the combat, but yeah, all I have left is 3 Deathcopters that are locked in combat and 1 immobilised truck. Everything else is dead or has run away, has been cut to pieces in combat. It's an absolutely brutal massacre and a solid victory there for the Space Wolves. So thank you very much for a good game, Sam. Well played, and we'll catch you guys again in a minute for the post game. So yeah, a bit of a massacre in the end there for the Space Wolves. Well done to Sam. You
yeah, they
tore
went
me
alright.
apart. Yeah.
I say it was 2 more casual lists, a bit more flavourful. Try some stuff out, have some fun, rather than the normal competitive hardcore list that we go for.
Yeah. So you know, it changed things up a bit, and it was good fun. I think for the first 2.5 turns, it was pretty close, and then it all just fell apart in my third shooting phase when I just failed to finish off the units.
Oh man, that Thunderwolf, like, it was just a case of, look out sir, Storm Shield save, look out sir, Storm Shield save, look out sir. And it went on for like 14 saves without a fail before you actually managed to kill my sergeant.
Because otherwise, if I'd killed him a bit earlier, he wouldn't have got into my cannons would have still been firing.
No, he was running around on 1 wound from turn 2 onwards.
Yeah, so... but hey, it is what it is. The Wulfen did well, taking apart that big mob.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of them and what they could do, but yeah, I mean, they had good rolls.
Yeah, and I mean,
nice.
another couple of turns and they'd have had a chance to do more, so, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what the internet's consensus is on Wulfen in a vehicle, because it just says units within 6 or 12, depending on the unit or whatever.
Say
units within 6 of Wulfen gain the bonus of their hunt or kill table.
Yeah,
so I would assume if in a vehicle that would just go to the hull.
Yeah, so I would measure that from the hull of the vehicle, because it's the same way as I would run it with, say, a sergeant with a teleport homer in a rhino. You know, it's you know, just go from the hull. But yeah, if anyone out there knows of an FAQ or a common consensus on how that's done.
Yeah, well, we got the common consensus between us, so it was good for today.
It worked for today, and it didn't seem overly overpowered.
Yeah, I kept rolling for it under the half mark on the table. I really wanted to roll 4 or 5 on the hunt for the +3 movement. +3 to move and charge. It's pretty strong, and you know that's why I had Skyclaws. Because you know Skyclaws not very great. Stick a couple of flamers in there, what to do, and stick a power weapon in there. Could be interesting, but then if you give them the ability to move 15 inches and then charge an extra 3 inches, so they're charging an average of 10 inches.
Yeah, and at that point they can really pick their fights with squidgy units and squash what needs to be squashed. Yeah, so not bad, not bad. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks a lot for watching, and join us again for more battle reports. See you guys later. Bye.